If you're a fan of Batman the Animated Series, then you probably are already aware of a rich library of tie-in comics that exist out there. From Batman Adventures, Batman and Robin Adventures, The Lost Years, Gotham Adventures, Gotham Girls, Batman Adventures Volume 2, and Batman Adventures Continue. But what you may not know is that there are a handful of BTAS-adjacent comics out there that I believe are essential reading. To kick things off, let's take a look at Two of a Kind from Batman Black and White Volume 1, Number 1. Rather fittingly, this tragic tale featuring Harvey Dent is the second story to appear in this issue. Written and illustrated by Bruce Timm, who should need no introduction to fans of BTAS. The story features the iconic Batman the Animated Series character designs, but places them in a bit more mature setting. It's only 8 pages long, so I won't cover it too much. But I'd summarise it as a touching story of love, loss, hope and despair. Like so many of the best episodes of Batman the Animated Series, this story kicks you right in the feels and I love it. As a bonus recommendation, you should also check out Case Study by Paul Dini and Alex Ross, which was reprinted in Batman Black and White Collected Edition Volume 2, for a glimpse at a possible origin for Batman the Animated Series' Joker. Next we have Batman Ego by Darwyn Cooke. His art style is part Bruce Timm, part Chuck Jones, but with his own gritty flair. And here's a little secret, I like his art more than Bruce Timm's. Again, I don't really want to spoil anything for you, so I won't go into too many details. But Batman Ego is an introspective one-shot comic he produced that examines the duality of the Batman identity. Following a particularly harrowing night foiling one of the Joker's murderous schemes, Bruce Wayne returns to the Batcave, exhausted, battered and bruised. There, he is confronted by a spectral version of the Batman, who offers to help him solve his problems like the Joker once and for all. My brief summary really doesn't do this book justice, but if you're a fan of BTAS, then I highly recommend you pick this up. This is easily one of the best Batman comics ever made. And it's made even more special by the fact that Darwyn Cooke passed away in 2016, so we'll never see anything from him again. If you have already read Ego, then I recommend you check out Darwyn Cooke's Parker series of comics, adapting the crime stories of Richard Stark. There's no superheroes in sight, just plain good old-fashioned heist comics. Finally, we have Dark Knight, a true Batman story, written by another name that should be familiar to fans of the show, Paul Dini, and illustrated by Eduardo Risso. Dark Knight is an autobiographical story about a difficult period in Dini's life during the production of the seminal film Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. In essence, this is Paul Dini's one bad day, in which he's mugged and brutally beaten to the point of requiring surgery to repair his damaged skull. Much in the same way that Batman's villains' one bad day unearths their existing issues, this violent incident is just the tip of the iceberg as Dini reveals his own personal struggle with relationships, confidence, and his own body image. Now, Paul Dini has always come across as such a kind, warm person, so it's particularly shocking to read some of the things he's been through, as well as the thoughts that have lingered in his mind. Dark Knight, a true Batman story, is a brutally frank and honest view of the life of a beloved writer, and as difficult as it is to read at times, I highly recommend it. A final bonus recommendation, you simply must read Kevin Conroy's Finding Batman from DC's 2022 Pride Special. This is another autobiographical account, this time dealing with Kevin's struggle as a gay man in Hollywood prior to his casting as Batman. It's a beautifully written story that shines the spotlight on the personal pain and suffering Kevin went through, and how it helped him find his voice for Batman. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Okay, those were my 3 picks. Do you have any recommendations you would like to make to fans of Batman the Animated Series? Outside of, the obvious Batman Adventures, Gotham Adventures, etc. If you do, share them in the comments below.